Hi, I'm Bebe.
And I'm Stephen.
And we are Just Another Knitting Podcast. Welcome to anyone who's new. We've got a few new subs, and welcome back to all of our regulars. We appreciate you tuning in.
Yes, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
So we have literally just got back from Dunedin, which is like a 5-hour drive from here. We got in, unpacked, came in here, set up, and now we're filming. And I have to say, we're going to talk about what we're wearing, but we are wearing our winter woolies today. It is not very warm.
Yeah, it's been pretty cold the last few days. We've had, we actually drove down on Friday in torrential rain.
Yeah.
And it's been all over the country as well.
Crazy.
So, nuts.
Middle of summer. So for anyone, those of you who are winter, you're like, yeah, so what? But it is the middle of summer. It's normally 28 degrees on a day like today, but today it was, I think, 14 degrees Celsius. Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell us what you're wearing.
Okay,
Let's just get straight into it.
Yes, today I am wearing Biblophile 3 by Alicia Plummer. So this is knit on Wild Earth Yarns Somerset DK, and the colour is grape. It's a yarn you can't buy anymore. It's a black merino.
Yeah.
And it's coarse, quite coarse, much coarser than sort of normal merinos.
I think if you're, like merino normally, this isn't merino, it's Perindale.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
You'd said merino before. I should have checked. Okay.
No.
Well,
and
that
I think
explains a wee bit.
I think in one of the other episodes recently, I actually said it was merino when I was wearing my one. But no, it's Perindale, which is why it doesn't feel like merino.
I was wondering.
Yeah,
okay. Anyway, it's much coarser than normal yarn. So a lot of our other
merino yarn, which is very soft.
Yeah, so a lot of the yarns that we normally knit jerseys in, this is much more on the coarser side. In fact, it almost feels a little bit like Lopi, that kind of coarseness.
I wouldn't say that because it's a shorter staple, but yeah, it has that kind of.
If you run your hands over the outside, it has that rustic feel to it, but it doesn't have the prickle. Yeah. So some of the other yarns.
What's the one that you have that's by Le Garçon? Is that BFL?
That's BFL. So,
because that's got prickle factor.
No, the one that's got prickle factor is the Corrie Worsted that I've got.
Oh, and that's Corriedale.
I think that's Corriedale. That's correct. So it's a really long staple there.
Unwearable.
And you wouldn't think that it was prickly, but just by touching it. But as soon as you put it on, it goes through everything.
But anyway, so this one's the opposite. It feels rustic to the touch, but it actually
extremely wearable. Yeah. So like
I'm
wearing this with just a t-shirt on.
Yeah.
So
and very cozy.
And I'm quite comfortable in it. Yeah. And I don't have a high tolerance for prickle factor.
So it feels a little bit like the Shetland wool, like the Jamesons.
Yes, it's
that kind of.
It's on that level
feel.
of rustic here.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's Biblophile 3. It is also, just to say a bit about the actual pattern itself. It's a compound raglan, and
so what does that mean again?
So what that means is the raglans here are not a straight diagonal. So
you do increasing on the body.
Yeah, some rounds you increase in the body and not the arms, I think it is. So it tends to go out wider, quicker. And yeah, so a lot of people warned me, and I did overthink this one a wee bit, as you know from previous episodes, that
and I know from listening to it regularly.
Yeah, the armhole depth, if you knit apparently to pattern, can be quite shallow. So it results.
And it was for you too. Like when you first tried it on, it was very much right up in your armpit.
Yeah.
You had knit everything down to sleeve separation.
Yeah, according to the pattern. So basically, once I'd finished the increases, because I'm going top down, it was the armhole depth would have been way too high. But there is a little note in the pattern that says, if you haven't reached this length, just keep knitting.
Doing increasing?
No, you've done your increases. You just keep going around and around. And I think that might be the bit that's the main difference is, so if you've finished your increases and you're not at the appropriate yoke length,
that's such a hard
just
thing
keep going.
If you're new though. Like if you're a new knitter, you trust the pattern and you don't really know. Like you really have to know your own fit. to be able to trust that process.
Yeah, it does have a length. Like, I think from memory, the length, and this is just from memory.
It has a schematic.
Yeah, it wanted you to be down around 12 or 13 inches. I'm talking inches here. I know. And I think at the I think at the end of the increases, I was at about 8. So so that's like a 5-inch or 10 centimeter difference, which is
that's your gauge is way off. A combination of your gauge plus the pattern.
Yeah, and I mean that was a big leap of faith, and I think I actually wound up overdoing it. I think I went to about
a wee bit too deep.
A wee bit too deep. So I've got a little bit of extra fabric here in the arms. Pooch. Yeah, because I was being quite paranoid about the whole thing. But if you put that aside,
but the fit itself, other than that,
the fit is great. The length is good. The body is a good width. The shoulders are fine. It's really just this little bit here, so I can overlook that for a.
And actually it then creates quite a good template for you to, like in terms of the arm length, it's perfect arm length, perfect body length, then you kind of know you can measure it and use it to create your own schematic.
Yeah, if I was going to knit it again, and I probably will at some point, I know what not to do and I know what to repeat. So this is the
Biblophile 3 because there's actually a 1 and a 2. So there's a Biblophile, which is a fingering weight garment, which I have knit, and then there's a Biblophile 2, which is the female bodied version of this, and then this is the male bodied version, which is I think just longer and wider, and
and it's got one of those necks too where you kind of knit the back and then you sort of there's no real short rows and stuff, and it sort of joins
it to join the front.
So it's got a real sort of good variation between the back and the back of the neck here and the front. So I really appreciated that as well, which means the neck's not too wide and it fits good with a collared shirt too. So yeah. What are you wearing, Bebe?
So I am also bundled up in my winter woolies in the middle of summer. I'm wearing the So Basic DK by Maxim Sear, and this is knit also in Wild Earth yarn. So this is in the Aspen DK, which is woolen spun yarn, and you may recognise this from previous episodes if you're a regular. This is the garment that I knit for my son. I gave it to him and he gave it back to me a few weeks later, having it had been for an adventure through the washing machine. And had kind of lightly felted, so it is lightly felted, and it no longer fitted him, but joyously fit me perfectly. So, sleeve length, perfect, body length. It's kind of like it fits. I'll put some B-roll in, but it fits me like a slouchy oversize. I'm wearing it today with my Lululemon pants. Like cozy winter vibes. And so. I mean, I guess I gained a jersey out of it. It's a bit sad. The only thing is that when I got it back and I reblocked it and I washed it in hair conditioner. That's what the internet said for me to do. So I soaked it for ages in hair conditioner, and then I reblocked it and I gave it a good stretch in both directions to try and get it back to its original shape. And when I laid it to dry, it kind of looked like it was maybe a little bit bigger, and then it just shrunk back. It just shrunk back to its original size, but the collar didn't. It ended up looking really weird.
Yeah, it was a very funky looking collar.
It was kind of sitting up and out.
Yeah, it would sort of curled out at the top.
Yeah, almost. It hadn't felted, I think, the same as the rest of the garment, and so I just put some knitting elastic in the top, and when I take it off it kind of puckers around the top, but when I've got it on you can't really tell that that's what's happening.
It looks like a really nice neckline.
Yeah, it does. And so I'm really happy to have it. This is the first time I've worn it since I got it back again, because it has actually been too warm. It is the middle of summer, and this is now it's a lightly felted DK weight, so it's
there's no gaps between the stitches.
It's very warm.
Yeah.
This would be great to take on holiday because it's also really lightweight.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of windproof, I reckon.
Yeah.
So it's like with those, you get a sweatshirt as sweatshirty material.
There are not many jumpers that I can wear that I'm a little too warm, and I'm a little too warm wearing this right now. So I think this would be, in the depths of winter, this would be a really nice garment. Anyway, so happy to have it back again, even though I didn't love the circumstances.
No, it's a shame.
Yeah.
Yep. Mine, he got a replacement jersey.
Yeah, so. He did. Yeah, I rewarded him with his bad behaviour. Well, he didn't actually put it through the wash, but with the bad behaviour, I just immediately gave him another jumper. So
one that I didn't wear.
Even though lots of people, lots of you guys told me, don't give him any more knitwear. I know, he's my child. What can I do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yes, finished objects.
Finished objects.
Yeah.
No.
Look, it's only been 2 weeks.
We know it's going to be a while.
Yeah. It's going to be a while. So yeah, you can join me later on as you see what I've been up to over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. So you've got whips.
Yes. What about you, Bebe?
I have a finished object.
Wow.
This is my first item of my 20 and 26. Yeah. And I did expect that I'd be wearing this today, but honestly, it is not warm enough even to wear knitwear. That's a t-shirt. So this is the Tulster tee. I knit it in, this is a 4-ply version, the fingering weight version, by Rebecca Clow. It is knit up in sock yarn. So this is called Sock by Wild Earth Yarn, which is a 80% merino, 20% nylon. I bought it for this. I had other yarn in mind when I put this in my queue, but it didn't work out. So I'm very happy with this. It's very much not my colour.
No, but it is a great colour. It's very much my colour.
But
I really like it.
I absolutely love it. It feels really put together, and I will just say the stitch definition, because it's sock yarn, it means that little bit of nylon, all of the stitches sit so flat. Like when it feels like I didn't knit it.
Right.
To me.
It feels a little bit store-bought, you think?
Yeah, well, I hope so. Yeah, and it's like, it's got, what's that called? Half-twisted rib on the cuffs and collar. So it looks really neat. I'm not a very good neat ribber, but that makes it very much neater. I made an effort to make sure, all of the raglans were in the right place, and the armholes, there's no holes in the underarms. Right, yeah. Everything, all the finer details. I made it a little bit longer in the arm. I'll put some B-roll in, so you will have already probably seen that. But because I just wanted something that if I wear it into the office, I'm covering up. I've got tattoos on both my arms, and I'm covering up most of that. Like it shows a little bit of one of my tattoos, but I don't know why I feel funny about that, but I do. And provides that little bit of extra warmth for me. I have talked endlessly on this show about how I get cold arms, and so I wanted something with a little bit more arm length.
Makes sense.
And I boldly said in my 20 and 26 video, which you can go and have a look at, and in the last episode, that I would only need 2 skeins. Well, I definitely didn't need 2 skeins. I went and got a 3rd skein. And I think I had knit up to, it's got a pull in it. That's annoying. I had knit, it's actually where it is. Okay, yeah, so I had knit up to, you can see where I've joined the ball there. So very close, but it would have been quite cropped if I had stopped and done the ribbing at that point. That's just the end poking through. So slightly annoying that I went and got a whole another 100 gram skein to do 400 metre skein to do that much. But it does mean
2 more skeins and you can do another one?
No, it means that I've got enough to knit some socks, which I'm happy with. And socks in this colour would be beautiful.
Yeah, that'd be
great.
great.
I could make matching socks.
Yeah, it's almost, that blue is almost like a very rich sort of teal, but also with almost like a base of black.
It's really nice. There it is, yeah. That's pretty true to life. It's a really nice, rich blue. Anyway, so that's my finished object. It's the Tulster Tee by Rebecca Clow, knit in sock yarn by Wild Earth Yarns.
Alrighty, so moving right along.
Moving swiftly on.
We'll move on to whips. So I'll start this time. I'll start with
things.
Well, kind of, but I'll start with the less exciting thing first. So I'm just going to recap. I've been knitting the Marius sweater. This is version 2. It's so small and that I almost can't see it. There we go. I found it.
Done more than that.
No, look, it's exactly the same as where it was last time. Yeah. So I've been very busy knitting whip number 2, which you'll see in a moment. But yeah, so this is really the cuff.
It looks like a swatch.
This is the cuff of the second Marius sweater that I'll be knitting. I'm not over colour work yet, so I'm not needing a break, which is probably one of the reasons that this hasn't actually...
Oh yeah, you'll pick that up when you want a break from the other stuff, yeah.
So I'm knitting this in Wild Earth Yarns Naturals, and the colour for this is abalone, and this is the same colour as... There we go. This is the same colour as the detail I did on my other Marius sweater, so this is going to have the whole sweater knit in the lighter colour. And then the yoke detail will be in a darker colour to be determined. So I haven't really decided yet.
When we were away this weekend, I was watching a video. I can't remember whose it was. Do you remember who it was that was mentioning the Marius? Somebody was. Anyway, I was watching a YouTube about, and I'm like, oh, maybe I want a Marius. Do you think it would be weird if I made one as well?
Well, you can. It's a great pattern.
I have the chocolate. I think I'd really like one in the chocolate. I don't love knitting bottom up, but yeah, I kind of want one now.
Well, it's a great yarn.
And then we could be matching.
We could walk around in our exactly the same patterned yoke jerseys.
Do you think people would stage an intervention if we did that?
No, I mean the colours will be different, so... You know, there is that.
Totally different. Same yarn, slightly different shade.
Yeah.
And people really notice the difference in the different shades of brown that we wear.
Yeah, dark brown versus slightly dark brown.
Anyway.
So that's a good idea. So anyway, Marius sweater.
It's a good knit, obviously, because you're knitting 2 of them back to back.
It is.
It's a Sandiscan pattern, so it's knit by...
Oops.
What's the name of the person?
Unsoiland.
Yeah,
Dale.
But she must have been a designer for Sandiscan.
Yes, I believe so.
And it's an old pattern.
Yeah. So also there's like Dale Design who do the Nordic Winter Olympic jerseys.
Oh, she's one of the founders. She's one of the founders of Sandiscan.
And I think that's all tied in together with Sandiscan as well. So I mean, I'm not an expert on the history of that particular company, but there are definite ties in there. And the Marius has been around for decades, so it's I think it was about 1954 or something that it was first released.
Tried and true.
Yeah, and it does have a steeped version that's not round yoked as well, which also might be interesting further down the track.
Hard pass.
So anyway, that's what I will be knitting on when I'm well and truly over colour work, but
not right now.
Not right now, no.
Shall I talk about what I've been up to?
You should.
So we went away for the weekend and I had a conference, and so Stephen came with me, but I was sitting in a conference. Well, I was sitting in the car, Stephen was driving.
Yeah.
And so I was quite productive for the 5 hours there, 5 hours back, and then sitting in meetings for the whole weekend. So I have managed to get part of this blanket done. It's not very exciting. I don't need to hold it up.
Granny squares.
Yeah. So this is a granny square blanket. It's not a pattern in particular. It's just one that I always knit for people who want one. I've knit tons of them for babies mostly. So for my grandson, so he had one when he was a baby that was designed to be kind of bassinet or pram sized, is what you would say. It also went through the wash. So now it's like doll sized. Anyway, I'm going to knit I'm crocheting in one to be more like, not bed sized, but to be kind of, what do they call it? Afghan, like a knee rug size. So I'm going to do this is...
Did you decide?
At the moment it's 4x3. I'm going to do 4x4 and then have a look at what it looks like, because I might actually run out of yarn. So I need to weigh one of the finished granny squares to make sure I've got enough. So I'm doing the join as you go method for this. So what you do is, where is my end? that's the beginning. As you crochet the square, I'm up to the point where I'm going to join along here. So I just crochet along and join it to the next square that's up there, which I find a much more secure method to join rather than just sewing it together. I don't love sewing it because you end up with ends and the ends unravel. I've had trouble with my sewn ends unraveling in crochet. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like I've made good progress on that. I will say though, I did some hard out crocheting. I did tons of squares and then I joined them all together. I spent a couple of days just trying to get as much of it done as I can, and I've ended up with a little bit of shoulder pain and wrist pain just from the crochet. My body just isn't used to the crochet.
Different set of muscles.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to take a little break from this. The baby doesn't need this blanket until winter time. So it might end up in hibernation, as they say. Probably not though, because I like to get things finished. Or maybe just do things a little bit more slowly rather than doing like eight crochet squares in one sitting.
Is that one in your 20 and 26?
No,
or is that from?
It's neither. It's just using stash yarn up. I usually have something crocheted going on in the background. I usually have a crochet project and a sock. So good segue.
Speaking of socks.
Speaking of, have I got my sock?
Have you got your sock?
I don't have my socks with me.
Oh no.
Yeah. What do I do?
Imagine a sock.
But I'm so close to finishing.
Imagine a tube of yarn.
Yeah, Stephen can put if Stephen could put a picture up. Yeah. So I try to have a sock on the go. So this one is the Afterthought Heel Sock by Summerlee Knits. It's from her sock project book. She's got a new book out actually, which looks really good, but I'm not going to buy it. This one is for my friend Irene's girlfriend, and so I quite like the Afterthought heel because I can just knit mindlessly without worrying about size, and then check the size of the person that I'm knitting it for, and then make sure the sock, put the heel in the place that fits her. So perfect.
Excellent.
So I had a good crack on that. The thing that I was thinking about when I was knitting this today, sorry to talk so much about a sock, but I feel like socks take forever to knit.
I know, that's why I don't knit them.
But
it's like gloves. It's you get through one and then it's like, oh, I've got to do the whole thing over again.
But you've seen me knit. Like I pulled out of my knitting bag this morning a sock that was about this long. I did knit the cuff plus a little bit more because I took it back to work and I've been knitting it at work. I get a couple of rounds done at work. And then I have now finished up to doing the toe.
Right. Yeah, I've got to say.
In one day.
Yeah, when I knit my socks, I was a fairly new knitter as well, so not the fastest in the world. So.
But so I knit a 30 centimetre tube in a day. I did knit pretty much the whole day on it because I was in the morning and then I went to some of the conference, so that was an hour, and then the car ride home. Yeah. Most of that I was knitting as well. So yeah, a few hours, but I can knit a whole sock probably in 8 hours.
Right.
It feels like they take ages because I knit them over weeks, but actually I could probably bang out a pair of socks on a weekend if I wanted to. Right. So I felt quite pleased about that. I really put my mind to it. I can knit a pair of socks quite quickly if I have a sock emergency at some point in the future.
Alarm or a sock emergency.
Someone needs socks right now. So, anyway, I'm just aware that I have a very large sock stash and I'm trying to make myself feel better about it. And I've just put more sock yarn into my sock stash from the leftovers from the toaster. So, and
you think it might be like 50 and 27 and everything has to be socks?
Yeah, no, I think I would suffer. But anyway, so very happy with my sock. Almost finished. Once I've finished the toe, then I'll... because I like to be precise, I stopped at the toe because I want to count the exact number of rows that I have. I'm interested in measuring the sock and finding out how many rows I have, so I actually have some gauge of how many rows produces what length of socks, so I can kind of, I have a bit of a template for myself.
Right.
Yeah, but they are very hard to count because I'm using 2mm needles, and so there's a lot of stitches. So I need to sit down when I'm not in a car and count the rows on both socks now to make sure they match.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So
blah blah. Do you want to go next?
I should. Yeah. Okay. So the second whip I'm working on is Henry VIII by Alistair Moore. So, I'm going to be careful here.
Oh my gosh. How this man does not have stitch stoppers.
There we go. Didn't pull them off the needles this week. Okay, so this is progress. This is 2 weeks worth of progress. It's like, seriously. It's, what am I on? I'm on 3.25mm needles. I'm knitting this, I've created my own colour palette from Rebel Light from Outlaw Yarn. So I've created, there's about 12 different colours. So this is how it's kind of shaping up.
Look at it.
So I'd hoped to get through a whole colour change, but it's not coming out too badly, I don't think. There's a lot of blue to come. So really it's going to be blue with some purple stripes as well in the pattern, which I don't think I dislike that idea. I think it'll be quite a rich.
I haven't seen the blues.
Colour palette. So yeah, there's some really dark sort of, what's the word? Saturated blues still to come.
Those colour changes between, it goes from purple, really dark purple to light purple, and then into the blues. That colour change looks really good. Yeah,
I mean, I've got to admit that I'm still nervous about the colour palette, and I will be until I've finished a whole set of colour changes. Yeah. And then I'm going to sit back and then it'll be like Lenny's.
Yeah, and if you hate it, just rip it out and start again.
Yeah, why not?
Because how long does it take to do one row?
It's about half an hour a row at this stage.
I go away and like for an entire day, and I come back and I don't feel like I'm like, has he been?
No, four rows, yeah. So basically 2 hours of knitting and about 3 hours of naps. So, so yeah, I mean that's the thing. You've got to relax while you're knitting. So napping is important.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I'm doing with this time, because you will have heard about my complaining about ends previously. So if I find the stitch markers for the start of round, he says looking for them. Here they are. So I'm just going to pull these so they don't accidentally pop out. So here's the inside, and this is the start of round. So this is where you would normally see all of the ends. So I've been following the method suggested by Gudrun Johnson, and I've actually been spit splicing the colours together so that the colours actually form a sharp join at the point where the new row and the new colour begins. And I've got to admit, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Like, no ends.
You can't tell.
I didn't do it at the beginning, so you can see there's a few rows where I just wove them in. But above this, you cannot see, and turning it around, tell me that if you can see, let me get them out of the way. Tell me if you can see where the colours are actually changing. I can't do it. There we go. Yeah, you can't tell at all. So I've got my new favourite way of joining colours. I mean, it's a little bit of faff.
And if you want to know how to do it, then pop over to Gudrun's channel. She has a video on how to do it.
Yeah, it was, you were knitting, was it the hap?
The hap, the Tara hap.
Tara hap. So, yeah, so just for general colour work, no ends. I mean, going from hundreds of ends for a jersey to none at all. Yeah. I mean, gold. And then steeks. So steeks you don't weave those in. So, wow.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was Henry VIII, Alistair Moore. About 11 hours worth of knitting.
Oh my gosh. It's a labour of love.
But
like it's designed to be your long-term project though, right? That's how you like to roll.
It is going to be a long-term project. I might wind up picking up and getting some Marius or something else going in the background.
Yeah, you might need another couple of things in between time.
Maybe some accessories.
Are you hoping to get that done by the time we go away to Shetland? So you want to wear it when we go away?
I do want to take it to Shetland.
So you'd wear that over the other one that you've got?
Glennies. Actually, one thing I'll say about the Rebel Light and what I've knit so far of the Henry VIII is the yarn is much lighter. So I'm not feeling the weight of the yarn. So the Hebridean 2-ply it's 2-ply, but it does seem to have a little bit of...
It's spun rather than woolen spun. It's not lofty.
Yeah, is it? I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit heavier. So, I mean, as obviously I get more jersey knit, I will really come to see what the relative weights are. But at the moment...
Yeah, you can weigh them at the end.
Yeah, but I mean, at the moment, I mean, you feel that.
Yeah.
There's almost no weight to it.
I mean, I'm aware. I have Rebel...
So, backpacking around the UK, I feel that, a more lightweight jersey.
Yeah, because we're backpackers. We don't take a suitcase. We have our packs on our back. So taking lightweight garments, which is why I said I would take this because it's both very warm and lightweight.
Yeah. So we do aim for that. It's one of the considerations. So.
Yeah.
So anyway, Henry VIII.
Nice.
Did you have any more whips, Bebe?
I meant to say also, sorry to come back to it, but this is knit in. And Rebel as well. So this is Outlaw Yarn Rebel worsted. So this is also chosen because it is really lightweight. It's very bouncy, lofty yarn. It makes really nice lightweight blankets. I use it all the time. I have a ton of it that Stephen has now given me permission to knit up into blankets.
Yeah.
I can de-stash some of it. So it makes really nice blankets. I do have something else.
What else have you been knitting on?
So I have, I've become a little bit used to having 4 projects, so it feels weird to only have 3 projects on the go at once. So this is the Cumulus Tee, which I'm knitting into a jumper by Petite Knit, and I've made good progress on it. So last time you saw this, it was I had just cast on the neckline, and it does a thing where you cast on the back and you build up the back neck before you then join here at the front and start doing the shaping, raglan shaping. And so I have, as you can see, got down to the sleeve separation. It does a thing where you do the raglan increases and then you do you can see where I did it there, just raglan.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
Just increases on the... I'm
not sure anyone else can.
I'm just showing you.
Okay.
I'm not showing you. You can go look for yourself.
Right.
It does just increasing on the body. I'm not sure why. I guess it's to get width while still having a nicely shaped arm.
Right.
Because it is designed to be a t-shirt. So I don't know if that'll bite me in the bum because I'm not knitting a t-shirt, but I think it'll be okay.
Right.
I kind of want it to have a fitted sleeve anyway, so I'm not concerned about that. I want it to be quite a fitted garment to be worn in warmer weather is the idea. So this is knit in the Petite Knit Sunday in the Sandnesgarn Petite Knit colourway. Which is Norwegian wool. I was talking to somebody who's from Sweden at our knit night. Wild Earth Yarn has a knit night, and she said this is not typical Norwegian wool.
All right. In what way?
Norwegian wool is usually much coarser than this.
Oh, okay.
So this is very soft for
luxe Norwegian wool?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, she was impressed that I was knitting with very luxe wool, but yep. I thought that was kind of interesting because I'm like, Norwegian wool's really nice. I want some more of that, but it's not your typical. The Sandnesgarn has a Peggy, which is a bit more rustic, and that's a little bit more like what is normal for them. So anyway, I'm really enjoying this pattern. It's pretty slow going. Like
What size needle are you on?
It's a 28 stitch gauge, and I'm knitting it on 3mm needles. I wanted something that was a fine gauge garment to look like it was like I just want like fine knits, like the same with the Tolster, that the stitches look really even and small. That's what I'm aiming for with this, but it does mean that there are a lot of stitches in this.
Yep, I understand what it's like. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, but I'm absolutely loving it. I think I'm kind of debating whether I just power through and keep knitting this, or I knit on something else as well, because I feel like once I finish the blanket and the sock, I feel like I need something to be a little light relief that's not 3mm needles. Unfortunately, the next things in my queue are also summer weight knits, so they will also be on small gauge. So I feel like I need a worsted weight pattern as a resting project from this, but
something just a little bit faster and chunkier.
Yeah. And then I was thinking maybe I knit a hat,
well,
but
maybe
that's not my 20 and 26, so
yeah,
that's also not in my 20 and 26.
I know. Have you got stashed yarn for the Wild Earth Yarn Naturals? You could swap something out.
I have enough to make a Marius and Wild Earth yarn.
See, that would count. You could swap it out.
Stash yarn. Yeah, I won't though.
Too early to start changing plans.
I think so, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep. So anyway, that's my Cumulus O-neck by Petite Knit. Very happy with how that's knitting up.
Okay, so that's basically what we've been knitting on over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So with regards to looking ahead, have we purchased
we've got
anything?
acquisitions. So we went away this weekend. We took the opportunity to go to a yarn shop that's new to us. It's actually a new yarn shop. Very exciting. So in Oamaru, which is about 3.5 hours drive from where we are in Christchurch. About that.
Yep.
Is Oamaru, which is I'm not going to start talking about Oamaru. I started doing Googling about Oamaru, so now I have
It's a very interesting place.
I have a lot of facts about Oamaru in my brain, which I'm going to park.
Yeah. It's on the east coast of the South Island of New Zealand. It's about...
We're not going to talk about Oamaru.
A third the way out.
We're going to talk about purple sprouting.
We are talking about purple sprouting, which is in Oamaru.
So purple sprouting is a South Island hand dyer, and Paula, and she has a dye studio in her house, like a lot of people do, but just got a new shop in Oamaru, Old Town. Very exciting. So
what a location.
I follow her on Instagram, and I saw that she had just opened a new shop. So excited to go and visit. They were just closing up, so they stayed open a little bit before us after closing time. Thank you so much. Yes. It was so lovely to meet Paula and Sam, her husband, and to actually see all the yarn in person. I have seen purple sprouting at one of our local yarn shops, and I've seen it at yarn events. But to see all of the glorious colour in person was amazing. And of course, we did not get away without acquiring yarn. So shall I start?
Yeah, you should. Well, mine's going to be really boring because I don't actually have it to show. So I acquired 9 skeins of 8-ply blue face Leicester DK. So, and the colour for this is called lithium, and it's a deep, almost blue steel grey. Yeah. It's got grey tones.
So you'll see it when it turns up.
You will, but I might actually also have a look on the website and see if I can find a picture and just put up, so you've got an idea of what colour.
So Paula is custom dyeing that for Stephen.
Yeah, she does custom lots.
They had some there, but not enough for a sweater quantity, so she'll dye a batch of it for him. Yeah,
3 skeins short, unfortunately. So.
Yeah.
But no, and it's an amazing colour. It's not one that I've really seen before, and so I could just picture a sort of a simple something like this, so basic DK kind of sweater. It'll be great for a work jersey.
Yeah. Very beautiful colour.
So yeah, I'm really excited.
And I got a sock skein because, I just needed more
socks.
Sock yarn. I don't know. I feel like it's like a whole separate. I'm not even going to justify myself. I have bought more sock yarn even though I don't need any more because I really like the colour. So a lovely blue. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting into blues and greens at the moment.
Yeah.
So the colour for this is called Not Deep Enough, and it's a 85% extra fine merino superwash with a 15% nylon, 400 meters per 100 grams. I would definitely knit a garment in this. They were not kidding when they say super fine merino.
No, it's very
soft.
Now, I mean, it's also variegated, and we know from historical
it's socks.
discussions.
I don't mind variegated socks.
Yeah, true. But also it's not so the variation doesn't look.
It doesn't have the kind of speckles in it, and it's a bit like the mandala. Anyway, I'm going to talk about that in a sec.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about it when I get to the next one. So this
Righto.
is the
I've jumped the gun.
Yeah, the yarn is called Delta, and it's a 4-ply. So I bought that to knit socks because I love knitting socks, and then I got 5 skeins of this. 5 skeins is probably just enough to do a sweater if it was not knit to gauge. Like I could probably knit something like, let me talk about the yarn and then I'll talk about
maybe
what my plans are. Yeah, so this is called Ultra DK, and that colour is quite true to what it actually looks like. It's very lovely, bright, juicy. My colours, like not everybody loves these colours, but I love these colours. So orange and peach and pink and light pink, dark pink, love it.
It's almost like the palette that you just knit that ranunculus in, but without the brown.
That's what I was going to say. It's very like the mandala that I just finished knitting, and I really like that style where it fades from colour to colour in a stripe, and that's what I'm hoping this will do. I'm assuming that's what it'll do. What I'm going to do is knit quite a big swatch, like knit a long swatch about the same width as a jumper, and just see what it will knit up like, because what I want to do is think about what I want to knit in it. So I have options. I know I could get a ranunculus out of this. That's tempting. But I also have a ranunculus in effectively this colour already.
True.
I could knit, I have another jumper which is a similar gauge called Lento, which I really love. It's the designer is Stephen will put the name up. She's actually the founder of Liner magazine, and I have 2 lentos, and I really love the gauge. I've knit one on a worsted plus lace weight and one on a DK plus lace weight, but you could easily knit it on this gauge, and it would just be like a looser gauge, which I really quite like. It's my kind of go-to knit at any gauge pattern.
Nice.
So I could knit that, or I've been thinking about this. You know how when you get a new batch of yarn and you're like, what will I make? I could make this. I could make that. I mean, you don't do that.
No, I'm the other way around. I find the thing to knit, then I go get the yarn for it.
Yeah, we're different yarn shoppers. And then I was thinking, I have in my what I want to knit next, a shawl by Kate Davies, which I can't remember the name of. I actually can remember the name, but I can't pronounce it, so I'll get Stephen to put the name of it on the screen, which I had in my plans for last year, and I took it out before I finalised my plans last year because I decided I just wouldn't get to it. But it's one of the many slip stitch patterns by Kate Davies, and I have enough for that, so I would really like that. And
that'd be a nice shawl. And
then I also thought I might like a shrug. And that when I bought it, I'm like, it's like a 1,100 meters. It's enough for a shrug, or a very cropped cardi, like a cardi that is like a bolero, like it just fits around your kind of rib cage. That's when I was like, oh yeah, that will be plenty. That's what I was thinking of. So anyway, ideas. I have ideas.
You do? Wow. So many. I mean, I thought, now that you mentioned the shrug, I thought that was plan A, but you've clearly been thinking.
Yeah. So I don't know what I'm going to knit this into, and it isn't in my 20 and 26, so it might get stashed until I get through my backlog.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll see. It might not appear again this year. We'll see what happens. I do love it, and honestly, I wanted to cast it on last night when I was sitting looking at it. I just love it so much.
Nice.
It's just my colours.
Okay, so that was pretty much all I think that we purchased while we were away.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so future plans.
Yes, what's your future plan?
My future plans.
Keep knitting. Keep knitting.
It is just keep knitting. Yep. I do have other options I've previously talked about, which are still on the cards. So I've got the yarn for the Small Steps by Calf Bassett. So that's definitely still on the cards. Yeah,
you could get into that after you've knit the Marius. You could, as your resting project. I mean, it's not exactly It's
just stockinette intarsia. I'm just concerned
of
about...
like 12 colours of intarsia.
Yeah, it's the sizing that I'm a little bit concerned about. I'm not sure how it's actually going to fit me based on having a good read of the pattern. So I have some degree of anxiety around that, which is perhaps why I'm not super excited about casting it on, because I know...
Because you're going to need to make an adjustment to the pattern?
I am going to have to make an adjustment. The pattern itself is too short. It's funny, in a book of 80s oversized jerseys, I think the one that I picked to knit is the one that's basically a crop.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit annoying. And even if you look at the photos in the book as well, it sits very high on the model when he's wearing it as well. So I am a little concerned by that. And it's not really a pattern that you can easily modify because it's very designed. So anyway, there's that as an option. But also I got a lot of good suggestions. I waffled a bit in the last episode about cables. And how I didn't like certain cable designs, and I was starting to despair a little bit. But there were some really, really good suggestions that came through, and I have actually gone so far as to pick up a pattern or two. I decided what I actually like is kind of the more Celtic or arboreal type cables, sort of vines and Celtic knots and things, and they're sort of like thin and they're quite spaced out, and I think they're a bit more decorative. There was a couple of really good patterns that I will have a think about. I won't mention them right here and now, but until I commit a little bit further on them. But certainly
some really good ideas though.
Yeah, a cable pattern is definitely in my future plans, I think. And that perhaps will be something...
Great resting project for all of the colour work and intarsia that you're doing.
Yeah, but I mean, you knit them in it's knit in I think all the ones I saw were knit in the round. They're fairly thin cables, so I could actually practice cabling without a cable needle, which is something that I've never really done before. So, I think that could be fun. I mean, and apart from that, it's just stockinette, right?
Yeah.
Well, or reverse stockinette.
I just remembered something that I wanted to say, but I don't have the garment. I think I'm going to go get it.
Okay.
Do you want to keep talking about something? Did I mention that we just got home from Dunedin and we weren't very well organised?
That's right. You can keep talking because it doesn't matter how far you go. she's all mic'd up still. Anyway, oh look, that was quick. I don't even have to say anything. So what have you got there? Okay,
so I had forgotten at the top of the show I was going to mention that I have re-knit my Maggie cardigan.
You did. You reworked it.
So thank you so much to, let me pronounce your name correctly. I think your name is pronounced Sorsha or Sorka. Thank you so much for your suggestion. Lots of people gave me really helpful suggestions. People said broadly the same thing to me about what to do about the button band because it was gaping really badly. I might actually put this on maybe. Oh, maybe I don't really need to. You can actually see quite clearly. It was gaping really badly when I blocked it. And so I wasn't exactly sure what to do. I wore it on the show and I'm like, I'm going to need to fix it. I'm going to have to take the button bands off. I'm not sure what to do. And so what I did is I pulled all of the button bands off. So I pulled the top one and the the button bands off, and I've pretty much just followed Sorka's suggestions exactly. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. ChatGPT told me how to pronounce it. It could be wrong. ChatGPT turns out to be wrong about a lot of things.
Well, the ChatGPT with the New Zealand accent.
Yeah. Anyway, so they said reduce the needle size, so I did that. So I went from a 3mm needle down to a 2.75, and they also said to pick up fewer stitches, which I did, and potentially move the buttons over a little bit, move them closer to the band, which I did. And then also, as I was unraveling the button bands, I did notice that I hadn't knit the button bands according to the pattern.
Oh, surely not.
So unlike me, yeah. I know. So, and I hadn't actually, I don't know what I was doing. I think I just wanted the thing to be over. I had not knit the button bands the same width. They were actually different widths. And I think maybe that was causing some trouble. The other thing I did was that I, instead of doing a sew and bind off, I did a knitted bind off just to make it a little bit firmer.
Right.
So, and it's made all the difference in the world. This has far fewer stitches on it. This was sitting really weirdly. It was gaping here and it was gaping at the front.
Yeah, but, I remember from the B-roll, it was like...
It didn't look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the combination of... it had not occurred to me to go down a needle size. I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but it did not. So that was the crucial piece of advice that I got. So thank you so much. And this is perfect.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm so happy with it now. Yeah, I've worn it a couple of times. It's actually been too warm to wear. It would have been fine this weekend.
It would have.
But I absolutely love it. The buttons are really cute. I'll show it. The button bands are really nice. It looks good done up or undone. Before, when it was undone, the button bands really sagged. But now, because they're much firmer on a smaller needle, it just sits nicely down my front and around here. So yeah, I'm stoked with it, because I was really sad. I've only knit one other two other cardigans that have actual buttons on them, and yeah, I'm a fairly competent knitter, but because I haven't knit that many cardigans, I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I'd done wrong, and I didn't know what to do. And yeah, so I was really worried that what I did wouldn't fix the problem and that I'd done something fundamentally wrong in knitting the garment, but I hadn't. It was just, I just needed to fix it. So, and I really wanted the garment, and I really wanted to be able to wear that wool. So I should just say it's knit in Possum Merino, which is, this is Outlaw Yarn.
Yeah.
Rhapsody, and
it is available.
Yes, you can buy this yarn.
You can buy that yarn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Unlike all of the other stuff we've got from the stash, which is not.
Possum Merino is very lightweight, and the possum makes it really, really warm. So beautiful garment. It's one of those garments that when I wear it, I feel a little bit too warm, like this one. Love it. Awesome. Anyway, that's not even what I was going to talk about now.
No. So what were you going to talk about?
So sorry about
Picking up on the cues.
I only have half of what I'm actually supposed to have, because we kind of just came in from the car and sat down and started filming. Anyway, so in the last episode, I talked about this yarn, which is called Icon by Outlaw Yarn, and Deborah had gifted this to us.
This is our Christmas present
yarn. Our Christmas present yarn from Deborah. And last time I talked about having seen Rachel, hi Rachel, wearing this yarn and being really inspired by it. So I said I was going to go away and scan it up and swatch, put it into balls and swatch with it, which I did.
You did.
So I did some swatching. This is what it looks like. I did 2 swatches. I did one on a 4mm needle, maybe
You're telling the story.
And one on a 3.5 millimeter needle. I didn't like the 4 millimeter gauge. I thought about going down to a 3.75, but I thought I'll do a 3.5.
So what's that swatch on?
3.5.
That's your 3.5 swatch.
Yeah.
So you must have been 4.
I pulled out the 4 millimeter version of it because I really didn't like the gauge. It was too gapey. But I just wanted to kind of try different ones.
But that's because you're going for that sort of firm store knit kind of...
Yeah, I'm looking for something that looks...
chic look at the moment.
Yeah, put together kind of, yeah. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm aiming for with this. So...
It's your density.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So this this yarn... The dad joke has got me. So I wanted to knit the Improv sweater by Karen Templar. So this is like a recipe rather than a pattern. So if you look it up on Ravelry, it takes you to her website where she gives you instructions for how to make your own top-down raglan. And the first thing you have to do is pick a gauge that you're happy with. So do some gauge swatching, which I did. Pick a gauge I'm happy with. And this turned out to be...
That's right.
Yep. So this turned out to be 23 stitches by 30 stitches, I think. I can't remember the row gauge. I don't really care about row gauge. When you're knitting a basic top-down raglan, it doesn't
we do
really
have
matter.
it there. It's all in the maths. We math the math.
Yes. So then what she has you do is do a bunch of math. So... this is free on the internet.
Yep. So
you can
nothing being given away here.
Yourself. So I put it. She's got it on a website, but I put it to a spreadsheet so we could do the math. So Stephen and I had a fun afternoon of doing math together.
We did. It was awesome.
Yeah, Stephen enjoyed it. I did too.
I was editing podcasts and doing maths
on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Men can multitask. Anyway, so it gets you to measure the back of your neck. The back neck width, and then your drop from back to front neck edge. So the place where you'd normally do your short rows, or if you're doing the built up back, whatever that is. And this is a built up back style, so it's you knit backwards and forwards across the back like your one is, and then you join it at the front. So that's the style of the sweater. So it wants to know how much you're supposed to knit before you join in the front.
And because you're knitting or measuring your own body, theoretically it's going to fit much better.
Your body.
Yeah, it's going to fit your body, not what the pattern thinks sort of the generic average is.
Yeah, so Stephen helped me to measure me. So she said to measure from where your earlobes are, so from here to here across the back. And then we kind of sense checked it against something that was about the same gauge as we were aiming for, so on an actual garment, to make sure that our measurements were about right and the maths was about right.
Yeah.
And we did some course correction from that, which was helpful.
I think key is the measurements too, because obviously the gauges, all the maths recalculate the stitch counts for the gauge.
Yeah.
So as long as the widths and everything are correct, then you're going to wind up with the right stitch counts.
Yeah, and then you just bang on your gauge. So before I started swatching, we did the maths based on a 24 stitch gauge, because that's what I was aiming for with my gauge, and this is a 23 stitch gauge. So I will redo the maths based on 23 stitches, and I don't think it'll make as much of a difference that I'm concerned about it.
No.
And then basically it tells you how many stitches to cast on to start with, how many stitches you're supposed to have when you get to sleeve separation, and then how many raglan increases you do then, and and you can do as many raglans in here as you want. So if you want to have a 5-stitch raglan, you could put a cable in there if you wanted to. You just adjust it.
Yeah, to
fit.
Yeah, the raglans eat the stitch count for the shoulder and the front and the back. So basically, as you widen the raglan count, you just reduce the stitch counts on the shoulders and the fronts. And so on.
So she has you do some maths. You can see it at the bottom. You do a diagram where you figure out where to put all of your stitches, and so you plot the front, the raglan, and then the sleeves and the back on in a diagram, so you can see how you're going to you have to distribute the stitches yourself. Anyway, so it was a useful little exercise, and it really helped. The first time I did this is I've done this one before under guidance. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I didn't understand that whole thing about distributing the stitches across the front and back, the sleeves, and then the raglans. But now I do. Like, you have a total stitch count, and you have to decide how you're going to distribute that total stitch count. Normally the front and back are the same, but you don't have to do that. You could actually have it more at the back or the front, depending on what you're trying to do. And then, whether you want a wide raglan or a smaller raglan.
So as an improv sweater, and because it's math-based and everything, it's not. It doesn't really sound like a beginner kind of pattern. It's something
not a
you
pattern.
have to understand.
It's not a pattern.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I think you have to understand the concept of what a raglan is and what you expect to see at different stages of its creation.
I think what it's for is if you're interested in sweater design and you want to know about how basic sweater design works for a raglan, top-down raglan, she will take you through presumably how a designer goes about designing in terms of the math and figuring out how it's going to look. Like, if I wanted to do this,
and maybe grading as well, because you would have different widths and things, so you could actually grade sweaters.
Yeah, based on
that
basic math of your chest circumference, your back neck, and your neck drop.
Yeah.
So if sweater design is something you're interested in, I have no interest in designing garments, but I'm interested in how that works and how to make adjustments to my own garments to make sure they fit well. Like Stephen talked about his Biblophile and making that adjustment. The more you know about how sweater design works, the more that's an intuitive thing to do to make adjustments to make things fit. And I think the focus for me this year is really on getting garments that fit me really well, that don't look hand knit. Like, I mean, I'm proud of the fact that I knit my own garments, but I kind of want to get to that next level of having it fit exactly how I want to every time. And so I'm kind of using this pattern or this recipe to learn more about how to get a really good fitting garment. And so there isn't really a pattern per se. So she tells you how to do the math to get to the stitch counts, and then she basically just says, and then knit a raglan sweater based on your stitch count.
Yeah. She does have like little tutorial sections and stuff that you can read through as well. So but it's not a pattern as such.
No.
It's a series of instructions.
And because I have knit so many top-down raglans now at this point, I can knit one in my sleep. Like the petite knit pattern I've been knitting, I've consulted the pattern only to check my stitch counts. I read it because in case she's doing something weird, like that is unexpected for me, that she wants you to do something different, I always read the whole pattern to make sure that it's a standard approach. But after that, I don't really use the pattern except to check my stitches. So I feel confident that I can knit a top-down raglan without a pattern at this point, as long as I have the stitch counts. Anyway, so I'm super excited, and so this is the one where I'm debating, do I cast this on? Because it's a 3.5 millimeter needle. It's still quite a fine gauge. It's the same gauge as the Cumulus Tee that I just knit. I think I will, because I really want the garment.
Yeah, and I think you like the yarn.
I really like the yarn. I really want to wear this.
Because we haven't knit in this yarn before either.
No. So. So I want to try it out.
It's going to be a first.
Yeah, and it will be good for like late summer, autumn. And so I think I've talked myself into casting it on.
And it's in your 20 and 26.
It is in my 20 and 26
so
to knit it. It moved its way up the list once I got the yarn from Deborah. I'm like, I know what I'm knitting with that. So I think by the next episode I'll probably have cast it on. I don't think I'll be able to hold myself back. I almost did cast it on the other night.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end.
Yes.
Unless
sorry,
you've got anything else?
That was a long story long. And it's like bed, it's almost bedtime, for goodness sake. It's very late. We haven't had any dinner. Yeah, we had a long day.
No, that's cool. So anyway, that brings us to the end of another episode. Thank you for making it this far. We appreciate your attention and your support and your comments and everything else that goes along with that. And I guess we hope to join you again in a couple of weeks.
Yes, thanks for tuning in. Ka kite anō.
Goodbye.